New York, the Security Council met to discuss the escalating situation, but without any sort of tangible progress. CCTV's Nick Harper is live for us at the UN with more. Nick.
Well, this was the third emergency meeting in 4 days for the United Nations Security Council. And although there may not have been any concrete results, it was once again an opportunity to show how isolated Russia has become, with much of the international community speaking out against it to condemn its actions. But for Russia, it was another opportunity to justify its actions, to say that its military was in Ukraine illegally. And they produced this letter that they say was written by the ousted Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych, in which he asked Russia for military support to help re-establish law and order. With soldiers massing in Ukraine, similar battle lines are being drawn at the United Nations. This is diplomacy that remains deeply divided. Another emergency Security Council meeting on Ukraine, with Russia again saying the movement of its troops was inside the letter of the law, by producing a written request from ousted Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych asking Russian President Vladimir Putin to send armed forces.
It's completely legitimate under Russian law, and given the extraordinary situation in Ukraine, this threat and the threat to our compatriots, Russian citizens, and the Black Sea Fleet, we're talking about defending our citizens and our compatriots, on defending the most important human right, the right to life.
But the US ambassador to the UN shot back.
So many of the assertions made this afternoon by the Russian Federation are without basis in reality. As I said in our last session, Russia's actions speak much louder than its words. What is happening today is not a human rights protection mission, and it is not a consensual intervention. What is happening today is a dangerous military intervention in Ukraine. It is an act of aggression. It must stop.
Earlier in Geneva, the Secretary General Ban Ki-moon met with Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, where they talked about the importance of de-escalating the situation by engaging in constructive and meaningful dialogue. Speaking at the Human Rights Council on Monday, the Secretary General gave his backing to Ukraine.
It is critical to ensure full respect for and the preservation of Ukraine's independence, unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity.
Ban has also sent his Deputy Secretary General Jan Eliasson to Kiev to meet with the Ukrainian authorities, in hopes of finding a diplomatic solution. Well, all 14 members of the Security Council spoke out against Russia in support of Ukraine, and many of them unpicked the Russian claims that the Russians are protecting their interests and civilians within Ukraine. The UK's representative to the UN, Mark Lyle Grant, came out to say that the Russian claims were, quote, fabricated to justify Russia military action. And the US's ambassador, Samantha Power, said that Russian mobilization is a response to an imaginary threat. So it's very clear here at the United Nations that Russia is standing alone. The worry is what it will do with that isolation.